Hi, I'm Matt with Advanced Color Solutions. Here's a quick video on how to set up the tissue paper on the 44-inch DigiHeat Press, rotary heat press. You can see the first thing you want to do is put your tissue paper onto your bar and make sure that it's mounted evenly left to right on the press. Then use your hex wrench to tighten it to make sure that the tissue paper is in place and isn't going to slide left to right on you. Some standard tools you want to have around is some tape, some painter's tape or masking tape, something with a light adhesive to it. Your hex wrench in case you have to adjust something. A pair of scissors is nice to have. And your 10mm wrench and socket for your emergency stop. Okay, I'm going to set the camera down. So if you want and you have them, you can use a pair of heat gloves. It's really not that hot though. I'm just going to remove the tape. You want to keep tape on there because if the tissue paper catches into your press when you're not in the room, you could create a little bit of a minor disaster. I'm going to pull a little bit of the tissue paper out, bring it down to the table, left and right. Now my fingers are touching the felt, not the metal. The metal's a lot hotter than the felt at this point because it's had time to cool. I'm going to let it get started, just applying a little bit of pressure. Once I think it's started, I'm just going to double check the middle. I'm going to go to the outside with each of my hands. Pretty good pressure. I can tighten it up here. So now what I want to do is I'm actually going to speed up the machine so I can catch my tissue and mount it to the take-up bar at the bottom. So all I did is I took my speed up a little bit just to speed up the process. I usually like to press at about 0.3, 0.4, a little bit over a foot up to just under a yard per minute depending on the fabric. So here comes my felt, or here comes my tissue paper. So I want that to follow down. I want to keep it to the bottom of the bar. I don't want it to come up through here because we're going to use that for the paper. So I can speed this back up again for a second. I just grabbed a piece of my tape I mentioned before. I'm going to grab my tissue paper. I have the speed control unit over on the right hand side of the heat press. About a 3 or 4 is all you need it set at if the machine is set to a 3 or 4. Just going to tape that piece of tissue on there, let it follow around for a second, and now the machine's doing all the work. You can see the tissue's coming out through the back, down up and being taken onto this last bar. So at this point, I'd be ready to start pressing. I could just take my dye sublimation paper. Again, having a piece of the tape is nice, or some magnets just to keep it in place. Now I can lay out my cut parts, get my fabric ready if I'm doing roll to roll, and get that ready to go through the heat press. And that's how to set up the tissue paper, get ready for production. Hope you found it helpful. Thanks.